Good evening. Welcome to California Today. I'm Liang Zhang. Here's a preview of some of today's stories. The recall effort against the Los Angeles district attorney has turned in their signatures. They're seemingly well over their required number. Many of the signatures came in rapidly after 2 police officers were killed in El Monte. One of the biggest school districts in the country just had its COVID jab mandate struck down. It was postponed until next summer, but now it could be indefinite. And one of the largest double-prop firefighting helicopters in the world is ready for action. We'll hear from the people who will be working with it about their efforts to keep people safe this year. The district attorney of Los Angeles could soon be looking for a new job. Recall supporters submitted over 500,000 petition signatures on Wednesday. That's more than enough to qualify for a recall election if verified. NTD Jeremy Sandberg has more.
Recall Gascon! Recall Gascon!
Protesters gathered in Norwalk, California to submit a truckload of the signatures to the Registrar of Voters' office. The group of recall supporters filed over 700,000 signatures that must be verified by election workers in the next month.
Hey, hey! Ho, ho! George Gascon has got to go! Hey, hey!
Around 570,000 signatures, or 10% of the county's registered voters, need to be valid to trigger an election to determine the fate of District Attorney George Gascon. That could happen as soon as November. Opponents of Gascon say he's soft on crime and easy on criminals.
People feel like they can just commit crimes and they'll be out within the same day.
One mother of a murder victim says she doesn't feel the DA will deliver justice.
I don't think my son will receive justice because I don't know how long Gascon will be in office, but I'm hoping he goes, if not for my son's case, for everyone else's case.
Around $8 million was spent gathering the signatures. If certified, the election will join a series of California recalls targeting progressives in a state with a reputation of being liberal. When elected in 2020, Gascon vowed not to seek the death penalty, not to prosecute juveniles as adults, or seek cash bail. He also told deputy district attorneys they shouldn't seek longer prison sentences for repeat felons and those carrying guns. He was sued by 2 of those deputies who say they were demoted for refusing to take actions they believed were violations of law. The deputies won a court order and reversed some of his policies. Gascon says he's confident he will capture a majority of votes if he faces a recall. Jeremy Sandberg, NTD News.
A plan to mandate COVID-19 vaccine shots for hundreds of thousands of students in Los Angeles Unified School District will remain on pause. A Los Angeles County judge ruled earlier this week that the district lacks the authority to do so.
A Los Angeles County judge ruled on July 5th that the LA Unified School District, or LAUSD, lacks the authority to mandate COVID-19 jabs for its hundreds of thousands of students. Judge Mitchell Beckloff of the Superior Court of Los Angeles County sided with a parent identified only as GF. His 12-year-old son attends a competitive public school in North Hollywood. The district's mandate required all eligible students aged 12 and above to show proof of receiving a COVID-19 jab or obtain an exemption to attend school in person. Those who did not would be transferred to the district's remote learning program. The father said in a sworn declaration, "Either I get him a vaccine that I fear could harm him, or I send him to a virtual school that I know from experience and LAUSD's own data would prove academically vastly inferior." Judge Beckloff wrote in his final ruling, "The mandate is not merely about how education is delivered or who may be physically present on campus as the court previously viewed it. Instead, the mandate dictates which school the student may attend and the curriculum he may continue to receive." Ari Spangler, an attorney for GF, said in a statement, "This ruling ensures that no child will be forced out of the classroom due to their COVID-19 vaccination status. The decision does not immediately impact LAUSD. The school district and Governor Gavin Newsom's administration have both put their mandates on hold until at least the summer of 2023. Daniel Hall, NTD News, California.
What do you think of when you hear pro-life? Some California pregnancy help centers are redefining the term following the recent overturning of Roe v. Wade. Here's more on how these centers plan to help women and their unborn.
Some California lawmakers have vowed to make the state an abortion sanctuary in the wake of the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. Despite this, some pregnancy help centers in Southern California are saying that they will continue supporting women on making choices about their unborn babies. They're achieving this by educating women with unwanted and unexpected pregnancies on all available options to support life in the womb. Margaret Brown, executive director of Rose of Sharon Pregnancy Resource Center, said that 85% to 90% of women who see their baby during their ultrasound choose life for their baby. Brown said she and the rest of Rose of Sharon are aware of the hostility they receive. She says that many think pregnancy resource centers force pregnancy. However, this is not the case. Instead, the center educates and shares information. Clients are free to make their own choices. To date, the center has helped over 25,000 individuals and families navigate their pregnancy and upcoming parenthood. Southern California has an estimated 69 pregnancy help centers. Some pregnancy help centers are specialized in handling specific pregnancy circumstances, including those involving underage girls. One such shelter in Orange County gives pregnant girls in the foster care system the support they need to raise their children when they finish high school. Between 2016 and 2020, pregnancy help centers enabled the outcome of over 8,200,000 children in the United States.
The governor issued almost 36 pardons last week. The prisoners included one man convicted of attempted murder. Good behavior was cited in the cases.
Governor Gavin Newsom granted 17 pardons, 15 commutations, and 1 medical reprieve last Friday. One of them was for Manuel Vasquez, a man convicted of attempted murder in San Diego County. He was sentenced to 5 years in prison in 2008. After his partner shot and injured 2 people, Vasquez drove him away from the crime scene. He earned a certificate of rehabilitation from the San Diego Superior Court earlier this month. The court recommended that he be granted a full pardon on evidence that he has been living an upright life. Another was Eric Cowan, a man serving a 140-year to life prison term. He was granted a commuted sentence. Cowan committed a series of armed robberies in 1997 and 98, but none resulted in injuries. Cowan, now 60, has served 24 years. According to the governor's office, he has dedicated himself to self-improvement and engaged in self-help programming and completed vocational training. The Board of Parole Hearings and California Supreme Court recommended clemency. Cowan will get an earlier opportunity to appear before the parole board. So far, Newsom has granted a total of 129 pardons, 123 commutations, and 35 reprieves while in office. Daniel Hall, NTD News, California.
With drought as bad as it is, the state will certainly need some help during this year's fire season. And one of the world's largest firefighting helicopters is ready to assist.
Fire departments from Los Angeles, Orange, and Ventura counties, along with Southern California Edison, put the largest firefighting helicopter in the world on display. The double-rotor helicopter showed what it could do on Tuesday at the Joint Forces Training Base in Los Alamitos, Orange County. Officials said the helicopter, designated CH-47, can deliver 3,000 gallons of water in 90 seconds.
So when you just think about it, 3 times the water is just 3 times longer of a span that you watched them drop as you watched the different ones drop. So it just gives us a heavier hit to hit the fire with. And sometimes fires, depending on what kind of fuel they're in, they have so much energy release in them that it takes that extra water to actually quench them down cool enough to put them out.
CH-47, along with other helicopters, will go to the most intense fires.
Where we're going to take them is on the active flank or areas where there's a lot of fire behavior.
Gaylor advised residents how to keep homes safe during fire season, which spans from July to September.
Residents need to have all that stuff in place, and they can follow that Ready, Set, Go guideline to help them prepare with what they need. And it includes taking important documents, paperwork, medications, supplies for pets, and things that you would need for an extended duration away from your home. keeping wood piles away from their houses, large growth vegetation that are growing up against the house, keep them trimmed or eliminate those are probably the best things that they can do.
CH-47 is ready for action as its service began on June 24th. It will be extinguishing fires for 165 days this year.
We are going to take a short break, but here's a look at what we got for you when we come back. The cost of production continues to grow, and prices are soaring to new heights. The state is now planning to help cut costs for some industries while adding new taxes to others. Apple is planning to up its security features. A new setting will help protect users from all sorts of digital threats. A former rock and roll star celebrated his birthday with the public. As for his wish, it's been the same for over a decade. That and more on California Today. While California drivers get no relief from the state's gas tax, cannabis growers will escape a tax designed just for them. With the new budget signed, the state is looking to support the struggling marijuana industry.
California is restructuring cannabis taxing in favor of producers as Governor Gavin Newsom signed the new budget at the end of June. One of the overhauls proposed includes completely eliminating a tax on cannabis growers. In addition, some cannabis businesses would receive tax credits. The change comes as the industry struggles to compete with illegal sales of the product 6 years after marijuana was legalized. Low prices from illegal sellers have made competition untenable. According to Cal Matters, growers are upset with Newsom's lack of attention to the industry after he used it in his 2016 gubernatorial platform. The legalization of cannabis is a hotly contested subject across the nation. Some see it as a plus, while others see it as a slippery slope into legalizing other drugs. The California legislature gave the bill, Assembly Bill 195, overwhelming approval a day before the budget signature.
Here is some food for thought. You have just finished a plate of chicken wings or a banana. Most people probably toss the bones and peels into trash bin. But lawmakers are saying not anymore. A new law is going into effect, and the goal is to reduce the amount of food scraps going to landfills.
A bill aimed to reduce the amount of food scraps being thrown into the trash is now in effect across the state. The target is a 75% reduction in organic waste going to landfills. Enactment of this bill will essentially affect almost every Californian. Passed and signed into law in 2016, Senate Bill 1383 aims to reduce methane and other greenhouse gas emissions. The two main sponsors of the bill were Senators Benjamin Allen and Lonnie Hancock. According to the County of Santa Clara Recycling and Waste Reduction Division, this law requires 20% of edible food that would otherwise be disposed of in the garbage or compost to be recovered for human consumption by 2025. The law would also require businesses to recover as much food waste as possible. Recovered waste could be given to staff or collected by a food recovery agency. Businesses would also need to maintain detailed records of recovered food waste. In addition, SB 1383 aims to make surplus edible food distributable to Californians in need. Proponents of this bill say that it's a good way to both reduce emissions and help the poor while saving food. Opponents of the bill say that it is yet another instance of governmental overreach, arguing that it would achieve marginal results at best.
Beginning this fall, the University of California system will waive tuition for Native American students.
Beginning this fall, the University of California system will waive tuition for California residents who are members of federally recognized Native tribes. The UC Native American Opportunity Plan costs $2.4 million. It will be funded mainly by the state's and UC's financial aid programs. The waived fees will apply to both undergraduate and graduate students. UC President Michael Drake said the program was developed to expand student diversity and make the University of California more affordable and accessible. According to the officials, California has 109 federally recognized tribes. It also has more Native Americans and people of Alaska Native heritage than any other state. Native Americans make up 1.7% of the state's population, while accounting for 0.5% of the UC system's student body in fall 2021.
On Wednesday, Apple previewed a new security capability that offers extra protection for users personally targeted by some of the most sophisticated digital threats. NTD's Sean Marshall has more.
Apple has announced a new security feature called Lockdown Mode, designed to protect high-profile users like politicians and activists against state-sponsored hackers. It limits certain features of the iOS system that could be vulnerable to spyware. For example, it locks down wired connections to other computers or accessories when the iPhone is locked. Mike DePasquale is CEO of BioKey, a digital security company.
I think it's admirable considering just over the last 48 hours, both M15 and the FBI are warning us that external threats are going to significantly increase over the coming weeks, months, and perhaps over the next year.
It's also for protecting dissidents, journalists, business executives, and human rights workers from military-grade and high-end spyware.
You know, as the chairman and CEO of a public company, you know, I'm concerned that information that I access or some of the communication that I have with my executive team and others, customers, we have a lot of government customers, could be compromised. And so,
like NSO Group's Pegasus, which is available to hack phones for $500,000. Apple says Lockdown Mode is an extreme optional protection to be used only by those with reason to suspect they might be personally targeted for a highly sophisticated attack. The tech giant will pay up to $2 million for researchers who find a security flaw in Lockdown Mode, the highest maximum bounty payout in the industry. Sean Marshall, NTD News.
What better way to celebrate a birthday than to make your wish for others? That's what a former rock and roll star did in Southern California. But it's hardly the first time he's done it. Here's how he began.
3, 2, 1. Peace and love! Peace and love, everybody!
Under bright sunshine in Beverly Hills, former Beatles drummer Ringo Starr celebrated his 82nd birthday on Thursday. His birthday has become an annual event after he casually commented on what he'd like for his birthday over a decade ago.
Because it happened in a weird way by accident, because in 2008, I was being interviewed in New York. I was on tour around about the 1st of July, and somebody just out of the blue said, well, what would you like for your birthday? And I don't know where it came from. I said, I would wish at noon everybody went peace and love. And look where we are now. We're in, 25 countries. They've celebrated it already, and here we are here. And what do we celebrate? Peace and love.
Guests at the event included former Rolling Stone bassist Bill Wyman, singer-songwriter Linda Perry, and Oscar-nominated songwriter Diane Warren. They made music to spread Starr's message of peace and love.
How much does the world need peace and love right now?
A lot. It's always needed a lot, and right now it needs a lot.
Exactly. And now also, I mean, like, peace and love is your message. Do you have a message for your Boris Johnson at the moment?
No, I'm not political. You know that. I'm peace and loving. Bye.
The event was held in the Beverly Hills Park, which houses Ringo Starr's hand statue, which is engraved with peace and love.
Now to NTD's Daniel Hall sitting in for Thomas Christian for the Sports Roundup.
Shohei Ohtani gave up one unearned run in 7 innings on the mound and had a 2-out, 2-run single at the plate that gave the Los Angeles Angels the lead for good in a 5-2 victory over the host Miami Marlins on Wednesday. The Angels ended their losing streak at 4 games while the Marlins' winning streak was halted at 6. Ohtani gave up 2 hits and walked 3 while striking out 10 and making 100 pitches. At the plate, Ohtani singled with 2 outs and the bases loaded in the 5th inning to drive in 2 and snap a 1-1 tie. Marlins starter Trevor Rogers gave up 3 runs in 4 2/3 innings. Miami finished with just 3 hits. Angels 5, Marlins 2. Cody Bellinger had 3 hits and Mookie Betts delivered a game-ending infield single in the 9th inning as Los Angeles rallied for a victory over visiting Colorado to finish a 3-game sweep. Dodgers starter Mitch White gave up just 1 run, which was unearned, over 5 2/3 innings, and he teamed up with 3 relievers to throw a combined 1 hitter. Los Angeles won for the 7th time in the past 8 games. Jose Urena made an impressive debut for Colorado, giving up 1 run on 5 hits over 6 2/3 innings. The Rockies got their lone hit from Brendan Rodgers in the 6th inning, and it led to their only run. Dodgers 2, Rockies 1. Austin Slater drilled a 2-run tie-breaking double in the top of the 9th inning to help San Francisco halt a season-worst 6-game slide with a victory over Arizona in Phoenix. Pinch hitter Darren Ruff slammed a tying 2-run homer in the 8th inning for the Giants, who overcame a 4-0 deficit to win for just the 4th time in their past 16 games. Alec Thomas had a 2-run single for the Diamondbacks, who failed to complete a 3-game sweep of the Giants. Giants 7, Diamondbacks 5. Matt Chapman homered for the 2nd consecutive day. Bo Bichette broke an 8th inning tie with a solo shot, and Toronto avoided a sweep at the hands of host Oakland. Jose Berrios limited the A's to 1 run in 6 innings and combined with 2 relievers on a 4-hitter, allowing the Blue Jays to prevail in a low-scoring affair in which all 3 runs came on homers. Toronto halted a 5-game losing streak. Ramon Laureano produced Oakland's scoring with a homer leading off the 6th. Blue Jays 2, A's 1. The Lakers' 2022 roster is finally starting to come together amid uncertainty and concern of it becoming top-heavy contract-wise but bottom-heavy talent-wise. The signing of 24-year-old center Thomas Bryant should alleviate both of those concerns. Bryant signed a 1-year minimum contract with LA on Wednesday. That deal will pay him roughly $2.1 million. This could easily be a buy low signing for the Lakers. Bryant only played 37 games over the last 2 seasons while recovering from a torn ACL. But before that, Bryant was one of the few stretch 5s in the league, being a 6'10" big man and being able to knock down a 3-pointer. With Anthony Davis poised to play more minutes at power forward next season, Bryant will be a candidate for the starting center spot. The constant threat of his jump shot could open up the floor for Davis and others.
That's all for tonight. You can join us again on California Today every weekday at 8:30 p.m. If you have any news tips or ideas for our show, or just want to let us know how we're doing, our email is california.today@ntd.com. I'm Liang Zhang. Have a wonderful evening.